What kind of person climbs onto your roof in the dead of night, armed with a crowbar, to tear apart your family's legacy for a beer festival? Let me tell you about Sarah Mitchell, a woman who thought she could erase a century of my history with a clipboard and a fake smile. My name is Lila Stone, and this is the story of how I turned her arrogance into a VY cautionary tale, making her scrub my sacred land in an orange jumpsuit while the world watched. Buckle up, this gets messy. I live in a house my great-grandfather built in 1907, deep in the woods of a small town. It's not just wood and nails, it's my family's blood, woven into every beam, every creak of the floorboards. My people, the Lakota, have held this land for generations, and I've kept it alive with daily rituals, lighting sage, whispering the names of my ancestors, offering tea to the wind. I'm quiet, private, but don't mistake that for weak. I've got a law degree tucked away from my days interning at the Federal Preservation Office in D.C. Most folks in town just see my moccasins and think I'm some hermit. That was fine by me until Sarah showed up. It started with a letter shoved into my mailbox like a grenade. Bold green letters screamed, Cedar Grove HOA, with words like, non-compliant structure, and scheduled removal for community event. My stomach twisted. They wanted to tear down my home, my great-grandfather's stake in the earth, for a festival? I folded the letter, set it by my altar, and waited. I knew they'd come for me. People like this don't warn, they demand. At 8:02 a.m., a shiny white SUV rolled up my gravel path, purring like it owned the place. Out stepped Sarah Mitchell, Cedar Grove's HOA president, in a pastel suit that screamed country club. Her sunglasses were too big, her blonde hair sprayed stiff, and she clutched a leather folder like a shield. She glanced at my house and wrinkled her nose. This it? She muttered, like my home was a shack. I stayed silent, barefoot on my porch. She flashed a smile that never reached her eyes. Miss Stone, I'm Sarah, here to chat about the letter. We're planning a big music and brews festival, sponsors, DJs, the works. But your house. It's not up to code, violates our aesthetic guidelines, and sits on shared community land. Shared by who? I asked, voice low. She ignored me, rattling on about contractors and housing vouchers. I stepped down, boots hitting dirt. You're asking me to destroy my great-grandfather's home for a beer tent? Her smile tightened. It's not personal, Lila. It's progress. Our community values inclusivity, but we need cohesion. I didn't blink. My VY sound doesn't need your permission. You don't erase history because it doesn't match your flyers. She pushed her sunglasses down, eyes cold. You have until the 28th. After that, we filed for forced compliance. Her heels snapped like gunfire as she left. My blood roared. She'd underestimated me, and that was her first mistake. Within 48 hours, whispers spread through town like wildfire. By Tuesday, a flyer was taped to my mailbox. Notice, possible airborne contaminants at the Stone residence, claiming mold and health risks. My rage burned. I pulled my files, found a recent inspection report from the Bureau of Cultural Preservation, 0 issues, air quality clean. Then I got an email from a Dr. T. Langley, citing mold from a VY Sewell drive-by. No inspection, no credentials. A quick search showed Langley was Sarah's cousin, a shady ex-dentist with a fake consulting firm. I printed the lies next to the truth and called the tribal health rep. They're slandering my home with fake health claims, I said. That's not policy. It's war. I posted the documents online, fierce and clear. There's no mold. The only danger is a woman trying to erase a culture by calling it rot. Sarah replied on the HOA forum. Let's keep this civil, Ms. Stone. Anger only proves your instability. She wanted me to look unhinged. Fine. Let her dig her own grave. That night, a metallic creak woke me. Not the house settling boots on my roof. I grabbed a stun baton, slipped outside, and caught moonlight glinting off a ladder. 2 figures pried at my cedar tiles, one with a crowbar. Step down now, I barked. They froze, then scrambled. One slipped, crashed into the dirt, his jacket flashing. Mitchell Community Solutions. Sarah's hired thugs. Who sent you? I yelled. The man groaned. We were told it was abandoned. Abandoned? With smoke in the chimney and a dog bowl on the porch? I lit the floodlights, and he limped into the woods. My roof was scarred, 2 tiles gone, a beam cracked. They'd come to dismantle my home in secret. I sent photos, VY Dale, and the jacket logo to the State Historic Preservation Office. Their reply was swift. This violates the Preservation Act. Prove HOA involvement, and we'll file an injunction. I posted the footage online, no captions, just raw truth. By morning, it had 12,000 VYUs. Comments raged. Cultural violence! She needs to be investigated. I thought Sarah might back off. I was wrong. That afternoon, she went live on the HOA's Facebook, dressed in a cheap buckskin costume, plastic feathers in her hair, standing by my family's sacred oak. We're honoring the old, celebrating the new, she chirped, placing beer cans and burgers at the tree's base. This is for healing. My hands shook. This wasn't ignorance, it was desecration, broadcast as a stunt. She mocked the tree that held my grandmother's ashes, my mother's prayers. I sent the VY Deo to the tribal council. They called it cultural defilement, promising federal action. The internet moved faster. Hashtags like the pastel mockery exploded, her beer offering remixed into parodies. I posted one line. You offered beer to my ancestors. I offer you consequences. My inbox flooded lawyers, elders, strangers ready to fight. At the tribal liaison office, I handed over a flash drive with every scrap of Evy Denke. She's burying us under a circus, I said. The council condemned the HOA, referring the case to federal authorities. I emailed my old mentor at the Preservation Bureau, who fast-tracked an injunction. This isn't just about a festival, I told her. I want Sarah's name on record as a violator. She warned of a long fight. I'll outlast her, I said. We formed the Stone Line Coalition Neighbors, Active VYSTS, students building a website, printing flyers. Sarah didn't apologize. She doubled down, plastering town with Unity Festival, banners, scheduling an HOA town hall. I went. Sarah stood under a MOVYing forward together banner, all fake warmth. We value everyone, but progress means change, she said, flashing a petition for signatures. I stood. Is this unity? Silencing dissent and calling it consensus? You sent trespassers, mocked my ancestors in costume. That's warfare. She waved me off. Let's stay CIVYL, Miss Stone. You're resisting compromise. I fired back. You're POVYing over sacred ground and calling it a picnic. The room froze. She leaned into the mic, smooth as venom. We respect your passion, but change isn't the enemy. I walked out, tore her flyer in half, and burned sage under my oak. The trees whispered fire. At 2:17 a.m., an anonymous email arrived. You didn't get this from me. Attached were Sarah's internal notes. The house is an eyesore. Brand her unstable. Once the roof's compromised, push for demolition. They'd mocked up my land as a beer garden, my home a picnic table. I uploaded the files to a secure drive, printed the worst pages, and met with a coalition volunteer, an IT guy named Javi Wire. It's real, he confirmed, tracing server IDs. We drafted a press release, sending it to local and national outlets. I burned a copy of Sarah's lies under the oak, whispering, For every name you tried to erase, this is how you fall. The county hearing was electric cameras, elders, active VYSTS packed the room. Sarah walked in like a queen, navy dress, pearls gleaming. I stood, no notes. I'm Lila Stone, steward of a Lakota home on the state registry. This woman trespassed, slandered, and mocked a century of tradition with beer and a fake headdress. I held up her email. Brand her unstable. Gasps echoed. Zhao Vy played her live stream Sarah in her costume, beer in hand, bowing to my oak. An elder walked out. Sarah's lawyer stammered. These are out of context. I stepped forward. It's about power, about erasure. The land remembers, and so do we. The room erupted in applause. The moderator forwarded the case to the Attorney General. Justice came quietly. Sarah got 92 hours of community service in my land, in an orange jumpsuit, picking trash and scrubbing portables. I watched from my porch as she avoided my gaze, her makeup melting by noon. A crowd gathered, kids live streaming with captions like, HOA Karen cleans sacred land. A local barista, Clara, offered her coffee. Cream? Or just cultural appropriation? Sarah tripped over a root, sunglasses cracking, her own words from the live stream blasting. This is for healing. By evening, she was a meme, a symbol of arrogance undone. A reporter asked her thoughts. I want to move forward, she mumbled. I stepped in. You move forward when you stop running over people. The clearing's quiet now. No beer tents, just wildflowers where Sarah's festival would have been. My home stands, repaired by volunteers, blessed by elders. We built the stone circle, a place for learning, not consuming, culture. Clara runs the tea table. Zhao Vy archives our history. Under the oak, a stone reads, Some roots are too deep to rip out. Sarah's HOA dissolved, her name faded, but our legacy holds. When they tried to erase me, the land screamed back, and the world heard it. If someone tried to bulldoze your history, what would you do? Walk away or fight until every root held firm? Tell me, I am listening.